Hello class, this is your teacher Mr. McDougall, and this is your next project in the pre-production unit, and your project is U202. You're going to learn the basics of screenplay writing. So the first thing I want you to do before you try to log in or creating this stuff is I want you to watch the video on how to format a screenplay, this one right here. So if you haven't watched that, I want you to pause this video and go and watch this YouTube video first, and then we could jump in to writing the screenplay. So once you watch the video, you'll learn some of the basics of screenplay. And I know it's a lot of information, but the three parts of it that we're going to focus on as we get started are these three right here: the slug line, the action line, and just properly formatting dialogue. So you're going to write a screenplay, simple screenplay, about two students who meet here at school, and they have a short little conversation about either a movie, a TV show, or some kind of hobby that both students enjoy together. Please set it, again, here at school somewhere on campus. So it could be in our classroom, it could be at the lunch tables, it could be right outside the classroom in the quad, wherever you want it to be, somewhere here on campus. And only two characters, just keep it at two. And the two characters can be you and a friend, so you can be in it if you want to write about yourself, or you can just make up two students. So you can give them two fake names like Bob and Steve or whatever, or it could be you and a friend. Either way is fine in case you don't want to write about yourself and you just want to make up a scenario with two people. So the way we're going to write it is we're going to use this software called StudioBinder, which is the company that made this video right here. So I want you to click on this, and the first thing I need you to do is bookmark this website, because we're going to use it a couple of times. So before you do anything, go right here with the little star it, and then save it to your bookmarks bar. So it saves it right there. Here's my StudioBinder, because again, we're going to use it multiple times. If you've had me in this class before, you should already have a login, and you can just click login. But if you are a brand new student and you've never used this website before, you're going to click sign up free. And when you sign up, just put your name. You can put first or last name, or just first name, it doesn't matter. For company, just put AUSD for the school district. It doesn't really matter what the company, it just has to put something there, so it doesn't really matter, but just use AUSD. Use your school email, and then just make up a password. You see, when you create a password, it will tell you all the criteria that is being hidden right there, but you know, it's the usual 12 characters, capital, number, special characters, all that stuff. It doesn't matter what your password is, just as long as you save it or write it down, because you will be logging back in a couple of times. So create a login. For me, I already have one, so I'm just going to click login, and I will sign in. Once you have completed your sign up process, it will take you to a page like this. So if you're still creating your login, make sure you pause the video until you get to this part right here. You should see a screen like this that says create a project. So we're going to start a new project, and just put your name, the period, and then screenplay. So I'm going to put McDougall screenplay. For you, you put P6 or P whatever your period number is. It doesn't have a super long, so you can't write a ton of stuff. It does cap you at a certain point, so if you have a long name, just put your first name or your last name. And then you're going to click next. And then we're actually going to start it by turning off all 5 of these. We're not going to start with any of them because it's a bunch of stuff that we haven't talked about yet, and we don't need it clogging up our workspace for right now. So turn off everything and just click Create Project. So when you see this, you might see some other things pop up right here, like tutorials or guides. Just ignore that for now or close it so you have a blank screen like this one. So there's nothing here yet. We're just going to add a screenplay, and if you take your mouse and hover it over here to the right where it says Project Features, click on that, and we're only going to turn on this one right here, screenplay. That's it. That's the only one we want for right now. We'll deal with some other stuff later. Click Apply, and now you'll see it gives you the option to create a screenplay. If I scroll up and down, here it is. So click on Screenplay, and then New Screenplay, and again, just put your name, Screenplay, and then Create. So here are the tools to create your very own screenplay. And again, this is going to mimic what you watched when you watched this video. So make sure you watch this video first so you could see how to get started. The first thing we need is our slug line, which is our scene setting, which contains two things. It contains a location and a time. If you're going to set your scene outside, maybe outside the classroom or at the lunch tables or something, anything outside is going to be EXT for external, meaning it's on the outside. If you're going to set it inside, like the classroom or something, you're going to put INT for internal. So one of those two things depending on where you're going to set it. So for mine, I will just do mine as an example. You do not need to copy mine. I've already given you the criteria of how to do it, but let me show you how I want you to format it. So I'm going to set mine inside, and you need to put a brief description of where. So mine, I'll just set in the classroom. So again, make sure you write down the word of where it is. If you're going to be on the lunch tables, put exterior lunch tables. And then for time, you're going to put a dash, and then you can write the time. And the time could be as specific or vague as you would like it to be. If I want it to be specific, I could say 12 o'clock p.m. right there in the middle of the day, or I could just say day or even afternoon. So this is my slug line. Again, it only needs two important things, location and time. So when we read it, we know right away where we are. So you'll notice up here at these tabs, pay attention to these on what you're writing, because this will help you if you get stuck or it doesn't look correct. So once I've done that, I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard, and then you'll see it change to action lines. Now I'm typing my action lines. What action lines are is a short little paragraph describing the scene up until the dialogue starts. So you're just describing what's happening so we know why our two characters are talking. So I'm going to write what my characters are doing. And just like in the video said, whenever you put a character's name, put it in all caps. So let's start with me. Mr. McDougall is in his classroom getting ready for the next period during lunchtime. His student, Sam, let's have Sam come in, enters the classroom to work on a project. He sits down and turns on his computer and takes out a comic book. So again, I'm just kind of describing. Now you have a picture in your head. Make sure there's a space right there. Make sure your spelling is correct. So again, this is a simple action line, just kind of setting it up about 2, 3, 4 sentences or so, just describing the situation. So now I know who's in the scene and kind of what they're doing up until the dialogue starts. So when you're ready to start the dialogue, I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard again to come down. But now I'm going to come up to here to where these tabs are. I'm going to focus on these ones right here. This is character and dialogue. So I'm going to click character. So you'll see when I click on that, it centers the line right in the page because all the dialogue goes in the middle. So first you type the character's name, Mr. McDougall, and then when I hit enter, it jumps to dialogue right here. So now you're just typing whatever your character is saying. So you can start off simple. Hi Sam, how's it going? And then if I hit enter, make sure I'm on my next character, and you're just going to go back and forth. So now Sam is going to talk. Hi sir, I'm well, how are you? And then just back and forth. Go back to my character. So again, all the dialogue stays in the middle. And again, it's very simple. You just put the character's name and then the words that they say. So I'm just going to do this for a little bit so you kind of understand. I'm not going to do my entire screenplay, just so you understand how to do it. So let's go back to me, Mr. McDougall. I see you have a comic book there. Did you see Deadpool and Wolverine over the summer? And then if I go back to Sam, and you're just going back and forth. Sam, bet it was awesome. I saw it 10 times. And you're just going to go back and forth with your dialogue. So this is essentially your entire thing. If you want to add some more action lines, you can just go back to action lines, and now we're on this side, and now we're describing more stuff in case something happens. So then I can say Sam then pulls out a whole stack of Deadpool comics. And then if I want to go back to talking, I go back here. You'll notice something in the dialogue, a couple of things I really want to point out when it comes to formatting, again, to do this correctly. You'll notice I haven't added any quotation marks. Sometimes you've been told if you're quoting what someone's saying, you put quotation marks at the end that look like this. We're not adding that for the dialogue unless your character quotes something else. So, because this is all my original words. This is the words I'm coming up with for this character. So unless I quote something else. So if I do like this, I loved when Deadpool said, so now I'm about to quote him. So now if I'm quoting somebody else, I would then use quotation marks. I'm going to Disneyland. So that is when you would put quotation marks, not over everything. I don't want it quotation marks over every single person's dialogue, because these are actually your original words that you're creating in the screenplay. Another important thing to point out is the action lines are always going to be in the third person. What that means is that even if you're a character, like in this example, I'm a character in this, I am not writing that I am going to my classroom. I'm not saying I'm going and I'm going to sit down and I do this. I'm doing it like I'm the narrator and I'm writing from a third person, like Mr. McDougall is just some character I made up. So that's why even though I'm in this, I write Mr. McDougall is in his classroom and he is getting ready, and then Mr. McDougall talks. So you make sure you write it in the third person like that. Don't refer to yourself as I or me. When you're all done with your screenplay, you're going to go to the transition tab right here. It'll move everything over to the right, and then just type fade out. That's the easiest way to end it. And again, pay attention to the structure. Your screenplay needs to be 1.5 to 2 pages. So at least 1.5 pages, but no more than 2. It doesn't need to be super long. But as you can see, it fills up pretty quick. It's not like writing a 2-page essay. The dialogue especially takes up a lot of space. I've only written a couple of sentences and I'm already at about half a page. So I'm almost done already. So it won't take as long as you might think at being at 2 pages. It's not the same as an essay. What you'll notice too on StudioBinder, however, is that in order to check your page link, you will have to download it, because if I just keep typing like this, as far as my page goes, you'll notice that there's no page break. The page just keeps going on infinitely without breaking. In order to check, and this is how you'll turn it in as well, is you're going to go to More and then click Download PDF. Turn off the title page. We don't need this one. Turn this off and then download. So you'll see it's been downloaded now. If I click download, I can see how long it is right there. So see, there's the page break right there. And then I could see if I'm about 1.5 pages. There's no page break on StudioBinder. It just keeps going. So you'll have to download it to double check. Once you download it and you check that it's right, like, oh yeah, I'm at 1.5 pages, that's good. This is what you're going to turn in. This downloaded PDF file is what you will turn into the assignment when you're all done. Okay? So again, I want you to have fun. Use your imagination. Keep it simple. Avoid any profanity or inappropriate topics or curse words, but you can have fun with the words you want to write and your characters and just their conversation. Again, you're just writing about something that you enjoy. And if you get stuck, if you don't know what to write about, refer to your mood board. Your mood board might give you an idea. If your mood board involves sports or cars or makeup or sunsets or beaches or something like that, maybe that's something you would want to include in your conversation. That's why we made the mood board, to inspire you when you get stuck. Okay? So, write your screenplays and have fun.